Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone sing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Bolo Shri Radha Gokulanand Bhagwan Ji ki. So now we're going to have a class by His Grace Rajesh Krishna Prabhu. It's going to be Bhagavad Gita chapter 8 verse 16. Those of you who are interested in hearing, please stay. It's about half an hour interactive type of thing. And then it's Aarti at 7. So a big round of... Prabhuji, what's your name? A big round of applause for Sachidananda Prabhu, please. Singing so melodiously. And we're really sorry to disturb him, but the schedule says class starts at 6:15, so here we are.
Can you give me the book?
Chapter 8. It's a very nice chapter, and it says, how can we attain Krishna?
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you all for coming on a Saturday evening to Bhaktivedanta Manor. You've taken time out to come and see their lordships, Shri Radha Gokulananda Ji. They're on the altar, looking so beautiful as always. So this is your little pious activity that will go into your account, or your bhakti account, which is basically on the topic that we're going to be talking about today. So we're talking from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8. It's a nice chapter. It's titled Attaining the Supreme. So when we say the Supreme, we say the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is Krishna. So it tells us how we can attain Krishna. So here it explains elaborately the different techniques and the processes that we can achieve the love of Godhead and see Him face to face if we needed to. So we'll be reading from chapter 8, text 16, which goes something like this. Abrahma bhuvana loka Yeah, it's going to put it. Okay. It goes, Brahma bhuvanaloka punar avarnito arjuna mam upyante tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. So, the translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest are all places of misery wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. That's a very interesting line Krishna says here. So he's saying one who attains Krishna's abode never takes birth again. So in our scriptures and many other scriptures, it's mentioned that there are 7, the way we understand it, how we are normally told in schools, and it's like we are in the middle. Earth is in the middle. The Earth planet, where we are, is in the middle. And there are 7 lokas above us, and there are 7 lokas below us. We normally identify them as there's Swarg and there's Narak, yes? That's how we identify them. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, it tells you there are many, many lokas there. And they're all given different names. So we are in the middle, like it's a sandwich. You know, like we're in a sandwich. So in the middle, we're the filling, as you would say. So we are in the middle, we're called Buhurlok. So we're in the middle, and then that's where we are, our planets and our universe. But above us, there's Bhuharlok, Swarlok, Maharlok, Janalok, Tapalok, and Satalok. So those are the 7 higher planets above. And then, obviously, when you look down, there's the 7 lower planets, which are identified as Narakas. So they have Atalok, Vitalok, Sutralok, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and finally Patal, as we call it Patal. Yes? So Krishna is saying that in all these 14 planetary systems, these 14 lokas, this repeated birth and death take place. So we can see ourselves, birth and death take place even in front of us. Not just humans, but you see in animals and plants. And so many things, they constantly go through the cycle of birth and death, yes? So we all see that every day. Now, we are given the opportunity to escape from it. But do we want to escape? No. It's like, you have food. Now, who likes Punjabi food? If you have a liking for a certain type of food, yes? Suppose you like Gujarati food, yes? And you go to a place and someone's keeping off you, English food constantly for a whole week or 2 weeks. Will you like it? You probably get fed up with it, yes? After some time, you will get fed up with it, and you want to go back to where you originally were, the food that you like. So in a similar way, everyone has an inherent nature of liking a particular thing and a place. So similarly, you see fire. The inherent nature of fire is to give out heat and light. So it gives out 2 things, heat and light. And without that, we can't survive. You can't cook anything, you can't do anything. And the light that it gives, we can't survive without that. And in a similar way, the soul, the inherent nature of the soul is to serve. We're serving each other every day. Husband says wife, wife says husband, you serve your kids. And if you're living alone, what do English people have? Cats and dogs. So they're serving their cats and dogs, looking after them, yes? But why do you have that attraction of serving everyone? That's the reason is because of the attraction of the Paramatma, of the super soul that resides in all of us, whether you're plants, animals, humans, whatever you are. So the super soul resides, and that Paramatma is what attracts us to each other. And we want to serve each other. And when we serve each other, and the way we serve each other is with love. I mean, you wouldn't grudgingly just, if you have some guests coming to your house, you wouldn't just grudgingly throw things in front of them. No, you want to serve them nicely. You know, you make a nice offering, get a nice plate, and you offer it to them. So you feel content and satisfied in yourself that you have given something nice to them and presented it in a nice way that they will enjoy, they will like. So similarly, with the attraction of Paramatma, we want to do something for him as well. So we also want to serve him. And how do we serve him? We're going to serve him with love and devotion. And when we say we serve him with love and devotion, what's one thing that strikes you when you come to the temple here? Bhaktivedanta Manor is known everywhere outside the world as one of the leading temples. The way we dress the deities is absolutely immaculate. Our service attitude, the way we serve, is fantastic. People come and see, how do you maintain this service? It's simply because all the people you see at the altar who are doing the service, they all do it in love and devotion, nothing else. For them, waking up at 2:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning to come and serve the Lord, they don't find it a chore. They don't find it, oh, I've got to do that again. Oh no, I don't want to get up. But no, they come and serve the Lord with love and devotion. The pleasure you get out of seeing Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Ji is so different. The kirtans that take place there, they change your mood, your outlook. And the best of all is, the way I start is when you come to get the prasadam. You can't beat that, It's so nice. There's something in that. So, in that way, we have an inherent nature of liking things and having our preferences. So how many people here have gone on an aeroplane? I think quite a lot of us have, haven't we? Most of us have. So how was the flight? The flight was good when we go? Reasonable. You get delays, you get cancellations, you get bumped off, all sorts of things happen. Bad weather, these things happen. But basically what happens, the journey on the airplane, you prep up for yourself. Everybody's eager, looking forward to it. You go on the airplane, you go through check-in procedure, you get everything, you got your seat on the plane. It takes off, you're flying for some time, then it lands again. Does it ever stay in the air? No, it doesn't. So the airplane from one place takes off, it's in the air for some time, then it lands again. All right, you might have some problems on the way, like, when you're in the air, you might not get the food you want, not the seat you want. Your in-flight entertainment's not working. All sorts. These things happen. Flight might get diverted. So these are little mishaps that happen on the way. That's the nature of life, isn't it? Yeah? And then what about when we go on holidays? I'm sure most of us have been to holidays. We book in hotels and things, right? Even same there, you have a choice. See, we're given all these choices, You can have all-inclusive, bed and breakfast, and half board, and no board, and you can be bored, you can be everything, So again, there we have discrepancies. We don't feel happy because sometimes the room you get is not the room you have chosen. The service you get is not what you expected. The food you get is not what you think it is supposed to be. So in those analogies, again, when you go to the hotel, you're not getting good service. After some, what do you want to do? You just want to pack your bags and come back home. Yeah, that's pretty much. Or one has to have no choice. So similarly, Krishna in this verse is saying, so you've got the 7 lokas above us and 7 lokas below us. So if you do bad deeds, bad things, we do good things, we do bad things, it's in the nature of the way we are, It's our thinking, it's our mind, which can be your friend or it can be your enemy as well. So it's how you develop your mind, So the soul is similar. If you do good things, good deeds, pious activities, you go higher and higher through these 7 lokas. You can go up to the top loka, Swarg loka, depending on the pious deeds that you do. It's pious deeds. When we say pious deed, you think all the good things that you're doing. So you can imagine the pious deed is like a bank account where all your pious deeds are added. And similarly, you got an ATM card, you put it in the machine, you withdraw your money. So in a similar way, when you're in these higher planetary systems, there's so much happening there. There's lots there. And, whatever you want, Krishna, yeah, take, don't worry. But, you can't just take. Because if you take, you have to pay. Sometimes you'll have to pay. So every time you take, your pious activities in your account are slowly diminishing. Where it comes to a point where you're in debt. And then what happens when you're in debt? You fall down again. So similarly, you got all these Devi Devtas in these... Shri Radha Gokulanand Bhagwan Ji ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki. So in a similar way, we all know that there's 33 crore Devi Devtas, yeah? So they are on all these heavenly planets, as we call them, these lokas. But they're there because they've done some really good deeds, pious deeds. But obviously what happens is, the whole universe is controlled by Maya. Maya is what we say, which controls everything. It's an illusion. It puts us in illusion. And everybody there think, I'm the best, I'm the good, no one's better than me. But what happens? When you do bad things, eventually you fall down. And then you've got the 7 lower planets, the Narkloks, Again, if you do bad things, you automatically go down there. These are what we call the hellish planets. So, now when you think of it, no one is happy anywhere. No one is happy in the Swargalokas because they know that if we do bad things, we're going to fall down. And you got the people in the lower planets, in Patal and everything, and if they do bad things, they're going to stay there. There's no chance for them to escape. So, why would you want to do bad things in the first place? To be there, Your whole idea is that you should start doing good things so you can move up the ladder. So, it's described, there's a very vivid and distinct description of the hellish planets in Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 5. It describes in very much details of these hellish planets, and if you do this activity, you go to this planet. Hell. Even the hells as we know it, the Patal, there's 7 types. So according to how bad you are, you're allocated that particular Patal. Can you imagine it? But it's actually vividly described each one of those Patal loks. So it means that all these lokas, these 14 lokas, including the Earth planet, are what Krishna calls Dukkhalyam Ashashvatam. It says it in the previous verse, text 15. Map upayante punarjanama dukkhalya ashashvatam. Now, dukkhalyam, places of misery, ashashvatam, temporary. So now we realize what Krishna is saying. All these places are temporary and full of misery. So, why is it? Like I said, due to Maya. So what are all these 14 planetary systems, these 14 lokas, what are they subject to? What are these dukkhalya ashashvatam, we say? And this world is temporary. We see outside the trees, the plants, they're there for some time. You see the little seedling come out the ground, it fruits, it flowers. After a while it starts to dwindle, then it dies. Yes? That's how it happens. So, this material world, this material universe are what we call temporary, and it's full of miseries, birth, old age, disease, and finally death. This is what we call Janam, Mitru, Jara, Vyadi. These 3 are constantly happening, whether we like it or not. And the threefold misery that happens Now, how do these things happen when you think of it? Anybody want to take a guess? We have these miseries. There's 3 types of miseries that take place. Anybody want to take a wild guess of what they could be? Anything, there's no right or wrong answer, but okay. So you have something, so you have something what we call in the mind, stems in the mind. Thoughts that come into your mind constantly. Oh, that's a bad person, he's doing this to me. Even though somebody might not be doing nothing to you, but the impression that your mind creates is, oh, that's a bad person. He does things to me. Oh, he doesn't like me for X, Y, Z reason. So your mind is constantly disturbed. You know, people, they say you have to go and see a psychologist. Sometimes you think the guy's gone a bit loopy, you know. He needs to go and see someone. But it's all in the mind, how you train the mind. And then you have natural disturbances. Anyone idea of natural disturbances? We see them, California, Far East, so many places. Floods, fires, earthquakes, forest fires, and so many of these things place. You have friends. Hope you've all got good friends, but sometimes even your friends can cause you misery. How are you thinking? When you're waiting for someone to come here, you say, hey, I told you to pick me up 6 o'clock. You're here 6:30. What's this, man? I'm missing my program. You know, these things happen. And if you happen to live, you see so many of these things, animals. People are scared of animals as well. They attack. You see how these animals, like dogs and things, they attack children and things like that, and they attack people. So you also have that, you know. And this is one of the things in the material world that happens in this. And then, what's the average lifespan on this earthly planet, you know, in Buharlok where we live? Maximum 100 years? 200 years? Tops 100 years for humans, yeah? And if you have things like plants, like trees, I mean, in America you've got the redwood trees, they grow for like 200, 300 years. They're also living beings, but their consciousness is very low, but they live for a very long time. And then, higher up you go in the planets, they could be living the demigods, they live for thousands of years. Now if you've got a good mathematician here, if you look in Brahma Samhita, it tells you the average life of Brahma is quite long. Even I can't remember it sometimes off the top of my head, but it's quite a few thousands of years, millions of years basically. Quite a few millions of years makes his one day, and a similar millions of years makes his night. That's just his day and night. And he lives for X number of years like that. So you can imagine how long all these Devi Devtas live. So like I said, Krishna says in chapter 8, the previous chapter, Mam upyante punar janama dukhalya ashashvata napavanti mahatmana samadhinam param gata. So Krishna, in the verse before, he's saying, after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this material world, which is full of misery, because they have obtained the highest perfection. And even in our own verse, 16, Krishna again is emphasizing the fact, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, when repeated and birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So twice he's saying it. But if you go back to chapter 8, Krishna says, whatever a person thinks at the time of death, he is sure to get that body. So this is why we emphasize the fact that one should take to Krishna consciousness or serving the Lord, or any kind of devotional service that you can do. Why? Because that is your only savior, your saving grace. So we want to break free of this cycle of birth and death. Yes? And go to Krishna's abode. Krishna says, if I can find it, Na tad santya suryo, na sansko na pavak, yad gatva na nirvante, tad paramama. Krishna says that he's describing his supreme abode. If you do devotional service to him, if you serve him with love and devotional, this is where you would go. Obviously, it takes an effort on all our parts. We're all trying our level best, but Krishna says his abode, his house up there, after Brahmaloka, Golok Vrindavan, where he is, that place of mine is not illuminated by the sun, the moon, nor by fire, nor electricity. Those who reach Krishna's abode, Golok Vrindavan, never return to this material world. So we know we're full of miseries, that we cannot avoid them. Everyone is suffering. There's a saying in Punjabi, I don't know if you know, it says, Nanak dukhya sab sansar, yes? So everyone in this world is suffering. Everyone is dukhi. You can ask a rich person, are you happy? Are you content? Now, if he's got probably 4 million, he says, I wish I had 8 million. You have this analogy where you've got a person walking down the road. He's walking down the road. He sees someone on the bike. He goes, it's a hot summer's day. He goes, you know what? I wish I was on the bike. It could save me a hell of a journey. I could cycle. I could feel the breeze. So the guy gets on a bicycle. He starts riding the bicycle. Then he sees this person shoot straight past him on a motorbike. He goes, wow, that's even better. You know what? If I'd been on the motorbike, I can save myself even more time and I can get to my destination even quicker. So he decides, I want to get a car. Sorry, a moped. He gets a moped. And then he sees a nice Ferrari or Lamborghini, whatever car is your preference, driving by. And the guy in the motorbike goes, oh, wow, I wish I had that car. That's looking good and I can get there even faster. So he wants to get in the car. So the person gets in the car, and then to save even more time, he sees a helicopter going. He goes, wow, I wish I had that helicopter. I could be from point A to point B just like that, right? And then it still takes a little bit longer. And then you see the guy in his private jet flying by. He goes, wow, that's even better. So our desires and our miseries, our want for something better, are constantly expanding. They never diminish, right? So with this suffering, what do people tend to do? I mean, a lot of people, to get out of this misery, you've probably seen it. They go through so many situations, so many scenarios, and what they do, they want to have a quick fix. A lot of people take up to gambling. I want to get out of this. I can do this. It's a quick fix. Intoxication is another one. Just, I can drink to glory for maybe next 5-6 hours. I don't have a care in the world. I'm away from my miseries. I don't have to worry about anything. But what happens? Once he becomes sober, those miseries come back again. Those miseries come back to disturb him again. So these miseries, all these the miseries, hey? No, these miseries and all this constant fighting with the mind is constantly taking place. And things are changing. You might change for the better today. And you think, I'm set now. Nothing can disturb me. But tomorrow, something else will change. Nothing stays permanent. Nothing is constant. Everything is due to change, whether you like it or not. It's like if I go to work, I can plan my day. I'm going to do this. I'll say to her, I'll be home on time and this. But if I get caught in my work, I might end up there. Rather than coming home at 2 o'clock, I could be there till 10 o'clock in the evening. So all my plans are gone out the window. Similarly, everything is constantly changing. The plans are changing. So in these higher lokas, you get to Satya Loka. Now, Satya Loka, which is the highest, right, which is in there, like we say, Brahmalok, up to the very top is also known as Satyalok. Up there, it's Satya. What does Satya mean? It means truth, doesn't it? That's literally what it means. So that's the highest planet, Brahmalok. And who go there? It's the realized souls, or the saints, the sadhu. They're the ones who are up there. But you know what happens? Because they've been so careful, because they've been serving with love and devotion, because they've read the scriptures, they know the meaning of the scriptures, they understand the scriptures, and they know that is the highest eternal truth. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when he's saying quite emphatically that, take to me, I will look after you, and you come to my place, Golok Vrindavan. He means that. So, when the whole universe comes to the point of destruction, when that happens, all these lokas are destroyed, but the people in this Satyalok and the Brahmalok, they are transported and taken up to Krishna's Golok Vrindavan. And then sometimes we doubt ourselves, we think, well, really? Can these, like demigods, they're much higher than this. Like, you have, can they actually fall down? And then there's a very lovely story in the Brahma Vaivit Purana, the Krishna Janmakanda, chapter 47. One day, Indra was sitting, Indra's got a very massive grand palace, so he's sitting there, along with his wife and thousands of people there. Next enters Brihaspati. Now Brihaspati is quite a senior person, he's well respected, and what do we normally do when someone comes to a house? I mean, someone comes to a house, do we just sit there and we don't greet them? We don't tend to get up and greet them. So Indra was supposed to come and do that. You show your respect, and some form of respect is what we show. But Indra never showed any respect. He didn't even get up from his throne. Why? Because he had pride and ego. And that made him forget that he was supposed to give his guru, who was Brihaspati was his guru, some respect. And obviously Brihaspati felt insulted. And what happens when you go somewhere where you're not really welcome? You say, okay, fine. You might be there for about 5 minutes and you just walk out the door again. And that's it. Then Indra realized his mistake, what he's done. Obviously he understood that he had to let his ego go. But what happens? Ego and money make you blind, yes? And when the Asuras heard about this, what happened? They wanted revenge. The Devas, they're thinking, Indra, how can you do this? Because of you, the Asuras who were inside the Brihaspati, they wanted to take revenge from Indra. So they entered into a battle. They entered into a battle, and because Indra was very powerful, had a lot of people with him, he killed all the Asuras. And when the Asuras wanted revenge, they had another fight. And then the Devas, they lost. This time the Asuras were overhanded, beat them all. The Devas, they went to Indra and said, listen mate, you know what? You've got too much ego and pride in yourself. We've lost all these Devi Devtas. So really, we need to get someone else in charge of here. We can't trust you. You're just not made up for it. We need a new king. So the Devas, they approached Vishwarup. He's a very learned sage, but he had 3 heads because he was born from an Asura mother and an artisan father. And they said, why don't you be our king? Because you're very learned. You're from both sides. You can see from the Asura side and the Devta side. You make the perfect person. Because you know what it's like being on both sides, yeah? So they said, okay. And then the Devtas, feeling proud that we got Vishwarupa on our side, they said, okay, last time the Asuras beat us in battle, this time we'll go and beat them. They beat them in battle. Now, when you choose someone else as your king, Indra's sitting there thinking, hold on, something's not right, They've got this chap here who's taken my place. They won a battle. Rightly, it should be me sitting on that throne, not him. This is my place. It's my place. I should be there. So like I said earlier, the mind can be your friend or your enemy. The seeds of doubt started to creep in his mind. He thought, well, hold on. His father is an artisan, right? And his mother was an Asura. So obviously he's going to help the Asuras. He's not going to help the Devtas. And he became furious, And what did he do? He said, I need to take revenge. And he said, he went and Indra beheaded Vishwarup. He beheaded him. He's thinking, right, I've beheaded him now. I can be king. But as it happens, Vishwarup, his father, whose name was Twastra, he said, how can he kill my son? I need to take revenge. So, he created a fire sacrifice. And in that fire sacrifice, he created a demon called Vitra. And his only instruction was to go and kill Indra. Because Indra was so powerful, they went into the battle. No, it's okay. Indra tried very hard to beat this Vitra, but he couldn't beat him. So, what happened? He approached Indra, Lord Vishnu. He goes, listen, man, I need to kill this demon Vitra. How can I do that? And Lord Vishnu says, well, what you need is, there's a rishi called Dadichi Rishi. You need to go to him. Well, once you go to him, you can create a celestial weapon made out of his bones, right? And that weapon can only be created by Vishkarma, and that weapon can kill Vitra. So Indra goes off to Dadichi. He says, Maharaj, I'm here. I need your bones. Now, obviously he was a rishi, he's well learned, he knew what was happening. He goes, okay, it's time for me to leave my body, So he goes, okay. So he sat in his position where he had to leave his body. He left his body. So Indra created that weapon, and he managed to defeat Vitra. And feeling so proud that I've killed even the most ferocious of demons, he said, hey, Vishkarma, come on now, your time is up. You see this palace of mine? It needs renovating, make it bigger, better than ever it was before. So Vishkarma started. Many, many years passed. And during that time, Indra's ego came back. Indra wasn't satisfied. He goes, hey, what's this extension? It doesn't look nice, man. Take it down, make it bigger, make it properly. So Vishkarma, he went to claim to Lord Brahma. He goes, listen, after everything that happened, with him insulting Brihaspati and Vishwarupa, Indra still has this ego on the back of his head, man. He needs to be taught a lesson. Then Brahma went to Vishnu. He said, okay, I'll teach him a lesson. So obviously, as it happens, Lord Vishnu comes down. He's like a 6-7-year-old boy. He comes down. He goes, Indra, I've heard about the construction of a great city, and I wanted to see it for myself. I got to say, this is the grandest city constructed by any Indra, the boy said. And Indra was confused. He goes, hey, what's this? What do you mean by any Indra? The boy said, well, there are infinite universes, and each of them has their own Brahma. and they own Vishnu and Shiva. And just like you, there are many Indras there. And Indra goes, that's impossible. They say you can count a grain of sand or drops of water in the universe, but you cannot count the number of Indras in the universes. So that's how many there are. There are loads and loads. And each Indra is around for only 7 yugas. And there are 28 Indras in one day of Brahma, and night of Brahma. And then, as the boy was talking to him, the boy revealed this row of ants were coming. And when he saw the ants, he started laughing. And Indra goes, "Hey, why are you laughing? They're just ants." He goes, "Indra, see all these ants walking past you? At one time they were also Indras in their previous birth. But now, because of their pride and ego and of their karma, they have fallen down and have become mere ants. So when we think that you cannot fall from the highest planets to the lower planets, you can. So this is it. They're just born as mere pathetic ants." And the boy said, Indra, he had a realization that, wow, he felt so insignificant of seeing his position and where he could be as an ant, falling in the line of ants. And then he realized he's just greatly one small Indra in the whole of the universes. So this story tells us of how, of ego and how it makes you fall down this material world and take birth again and again. So we need to escape out this cycle of misery, birth and death, and of the 840 million species of life. Krishna says, take to devotional service, seek help from Guru, look at Shastras. In Kali Yuga, Krishna says, Prayana Palishu Sabhya Kalam Asmin Yuge Jana Mada Sumanda Mateo Manda Bhagya Hei Upredata. In this age of Kali, we have very short lives. We're quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, and above all, we are disturbed with the mind. People need to understand we have forgotten the real purpose of us connecting with Krishna. And then Krishna sends, he came himself as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? He goes, it's very easy to get a Kali Yuga. All you have to do is chant. He goes, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nami Kevalam Kalo Nasteva Nasteva Gati Ranyatya. In this age of Kali, there is no alternative. There is no alternative for spiritual progress than the chanting of the holy name. And then, even now, 70 years ago, Srila Prabhupada came to deliver exactly the same message. So I think I'll have to stop there. It's almost 1 minute to 7 and Aarti is going to start. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagwan Ji ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai. Jai. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagwan Ji ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Jai. Jiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati Ko Shobha. Jiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande आरती को शोभा